ETE Imhotep, Seni Senet, Ankwas Jed, Uncle Ja Seneb, Dua, Henu for listening and coming into the building today. This is your brother Rasarim Ka. I haven't done a broadcast in a while. I've been incredibly busy. I do apologize, but not just busy. I'm having computer issues. I'm getting ready to buy a brand new computer and then some video equipment as well, so I can get back into filming. And you know I got to do a film for y'all. You know I got to do some stuff for y'all. Y'all know what it is. But anyway, I'm just going live real quick. I'll share this around a little later. Before we get started, though, check out the website, www.praisethedivine.org, as you'll see messages popping up all over the bottom of my screen. But Praise the Divine, Heck in the Chair, Heck in the Cheru, Ba'u Imra, the souls in Ra. That's the name of our per Ankh. Goodness. And this is the class here. This is the new class that we put together. This is an introduction class. What you would do is go into Google Classroom, and then you would pull up the Coming Forth by Day class, and then you would type in this code 66QN5BY for your learning pleasure. And of course, not to be forgotten, the Virtues of Ma'at course, which is here. And each one gives a certificate. Each one certifies that you know this. And when you finish, you will definitely know them, because most of the time you come to this channel, you see me knowing what I'm talking about. There's no, you don't have any hiccups when you come to this channel. If you come to this channel, you're going to have it right. If you go other places, sometimes you could get it wrong. You could get something that they think or that they believe or that they're fabricating or that they're building and have no consensus for, right? So, which brings us to what we're doing today. And I've said this in the Hangouts a long time, and now I'm starting to hear other people say it as well, which happens. Be careful where you get your information from. And now I'm starting to hear other people echo the same sentiments. Be careful, be careful. Oh, this is this is that. And you're right. Be careful, because some of these guys, they don't have it all. And this presentation today is not a knock on anyone. I'm just pointing out some specifics so that you know going further. Because when it comes to the grammar, we want to be more meticulous in the beginning. Eventually, it'll be just like English. You know, people talk this way over here. People talk this way over there. So-and-so has this type of accent. So-and-so used this type of sentence. Their syntax is off. The way they put their sentence together. There's a difference between writing and there's a difference between speaking a language as well. And so it just brings us to our discussion today, which is, where is it at? This. A meme popped up. Our brother Wujao, good brother, great grammar course. I've endorsed it before. Not the grammar course, but the language course he had in the introductory to Medu Neter. It was on my website when we did the Kemet Empire. So, you know, I endorsed him after I said, let me see what you're teaching. Just like I took Infudishi's course, just like I picked up Raketi Yaman's book, you know, and contacted her through the internet. Infudishi, we flew out here. Wujao, I took his course because we had been discoursing for some time on the internet. And before I met him, I knew Medu Neter. So I needed to make sure his was sound. You know, he professors to North for 7 to 8 years. At the time when I had met him, it was some terms I knew that they weren't quite privy to. They were in a group with the brother Christopher, my man Satep and Ron, some other brothers called the Guardians of Ma'at at the time. And at that time, I was using terms like Seshu Ma'ani, Medu Neter, Rani Kemet. These are the terms that I was using at that time when I met him. And the brother put together a great course, together a real great course. And they're doing a book concerning Kemet right now at the moment. Not right now, brother Ready. But and it's him and another brother, Asar Imhotep. So they're doing some decent work over there. Not bad. But as you can see on the screen, this is one thing that they tagged me in that was not quite up to standard, in my opinion, and grammatically, period. So he had brought up Kemet, the nation of the riparian country. But he didn't mean to necessarily harp on this particular point. Here's what he's harping on here. It says, whenever you see the above word transliterated as km.t, it is done in error. The above word is a feminine singular collective and is properly transliterated as kemet. If it were a feminine plural word, it would be transliterated as kemwit, where the wit ending denotes feminine plural and not tu, or tw, if you will, which is the quell check generally at the end, or km.t, as these stripes would have you enunciate on occasion. He says, gender and number are grammatical features taught on a beginner's level of the language. More examples of masculine and feminine collectives. And he goes on to say Misha, which is the soldiers, the troops. And then he goes on to say Minminet, the herd, feminine, which you'll find. You'll find these things here. But the problem is this top one, because it says the nation of the riparian country. So that part is wrong. When you see the people here denoted with the strokes, and you have this adjective here, and you have the T here, which goes into the feminine T rule, or the singular feminine, or the feminine singular or feminine plural. This one is plural because it's got the people here. Then it's kemet, and it's talking about people. It's not talking about the nation of the riparian country. And this mistake was done with another term, with the toponyms. It's when you start to use English toponyms and you put them over another language's toponyms. Or when you start to use English grammatic rules and start to put them over other nations' grammatical rules, other linguistic grammatical rules, other languages' grammatical rules. For instance, if I'm speaking Spanish and I'm discussing toponyms, most of the toponyms in Spanish are masculine. That makes them different. In English, they can be masculine, they can be feminine. I think there's a couple that are bi, they're stuck together, if I'm not mistaken. But when it comes to other countries, a lot of their toponyms are feminine. So you can't just grab grammatical rules that you see and impose them over the top of a different language and expect everything to fit. And here, this was an issue. So here we have Kemet, the nation of the riparian country, and it's not. This is referring to the people of Kemet, the Ramech, or the Egyptians, or Kemet, those people, not the nation. Not how we say in, and some people say in English, the Americans. And now you can say the Americans, yes, but you couldn't say America and say the people. Doesn't work. It's not, no, doesn't work at all. So we go here. When I seen this, it made me chime in. I said, so are you talking about the people or the riparian country? Which one? Because there's a difference. Got to be meticulous. We're talking grammar. Nobody wants to be meticulous when it comes to them. They want to be meticulous on other factors and other people. But when it comes to you, meticulousness must be accounted for as well. And that's everyone, right? That's me as well. So I put this up. This is the Merneptah Stela, 1205 BC. And I put this up because this is a good example. I think I seen a video recently, which is what made me go on and make this, because it needs to be made. The brother said it could be a meme, because he wasn't sure, because he didn't see. They had broke down the Merneptah Stela a long time ago. But if you broke this stela down, you'll notice line 27. Line 27. This is where they claim the term Israel is at. You'll see in line 26, I think 25 through 26, I think you'll see the line where it's talking about the Chenahu, the Libyans. But here, it's talking about a particular people without a country. And you can see below, very blurrily, Yisrir, it's a little blurry over there. This is where they're claiming it's at. This is your biblical scholars claiming it's there. But the term doesn't necessarily define Israel at all. But it does definitely define a people. So here, the two reed leaves, the door lock, right? Yiz, the Z, if you will, the strokes, which make the ye sound in this word, the mouth, which is the R, the reed leaf, the A to I, slash, this, the hawk vulture, which is the, makes a long A sound, the R for the mouth, and then the stroke, which makes more of a, kind of makes a long A or a long I sound, like Ray or Ra, right? So Yizriari, Yizriari, if we really want to go syllable for syllable, right? This throw stick shows that these are barbarians, this people that they're talking about here. These people here in the back. Yizriari and whoever his people are barbarians. And you see the multiple strokes to show that there's more than one, and of course, that's him, etc., etc. They say this is the term Israel, but it's not a guarantee that that's the term Israel, right? So because we know that this is talking about a people, we don't see a land determinative, which is important. If we don't see a land determinative, we know this is a people without a country, or this is either a people that we were talking about early on in the km.t stela. And the stela discusses Libyans. It didn't leave the Libyans marker out. It had the hill country. And the Nahesi didn't leave theirs out. That's how we knew we were talking about them. But it left it out for Yisrael, but they claim this is Israel, just so you know. Just for our Bible readers who, if you cling on to this, there's some issues, right? But just for the enunciation and for the grammatical text, if there is no country denoted here, then we know we're strictly talking about a people. We're strictly talking about a people in the country, not the country itself. Then it goes on to say, cat, on viper, cat, KT, ooh, the cat, and the bird denoted with the strokes, because that's waist. Ben, B with the foot, the N, Perret, season, they say seed grain. I'm going to tell you season, even though they've got this circle here, they're saying that's the seed grain, supposedly being representative as the determinative, but their season is over. Is F at the end, right? Perret, the house at the top, the mouth, the T, the breast, or the bread. So this is the breakdown. This is what we know for sure, right? So there is no hill country here to show that these people are from a foreign land. We have this barbarian stick to show that they are from a foreign land. And we know that there are people, but they don't have a country. But we know the km.t stela, like I said, line 26, if I remember correctly, is talking about the Libyans. And then there's another line that's talking about the Nahesi. And the hill country is there because we're talking about a nation of people. We're talking about a people who live inside that nation. We're not talking about the nation itself. So grammatically, we cannot say Libya, the riparian country, or Libya. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't work grammatically. We have to be meticulous here. And that's what we're going to be. So this here says Kemet, but it's referring to people, not a nation. You see, no nation. So let's go let's go look at some grammar rules, shall we? Let's go look at a few grammar rules. Let's go here. Before we even go to let's go to the grammar rules first. Yeah, let's do that. So this is an adjective. It's treated like a verb. It's followed by the subject. Noun or pronoun. In this case, you know what it is. It's km right here, right? So we go here. We go D, N, Ra. And here's the determinative for Ra. Notice how these have determinatives. D, an offering, right? That's right. Ra caused, right? He gave it to you, right? And here you have naket, in aket, naket. And then you have a determinative at the end, don't you? And then we have here, Sajamef, right? So here, what do you have? Kemet with the determinative here. So it says naket kemet. It says D in Ra, naket kemet. Here, naket kemet is treated as a Sajamef form and acts as an object for the verb D. This is D. Ra is doing something. What's he doing? He's causing Egypt to be what? With the stick, you see the brother with the stick? To be strong. And then Egypt follows it. Kemet follows it. Kemet. Your K, M, your T, your determinative. Okay? So Ra, D, Ra, or he gave the strength to be strong to Kemet, if you will, right? If we're more literal about our translation. So that's there. Let's go again when it's used as a relative clause. It says this. This is the antecedent. It says, Ramech, talking about the people, Kemet, with the determinative, Neti, you, M, Henef. The Egyptians who are there with him. So we can see grammatically, we have Ramech first, then Kemet must follow it with the determinative. Grammatically, if you do not have that grammatically, we say Kemet and we know we're just talking about the people. If we don't have the people there, we know we're just talking about Kemet, the land, the nation, the place. Okay? So you cannot grammatically make that mistake. And you can see down here, Ramech Kemet is a plural antecedent and identical with the subject. You understand? So Kemet is here as a nation, Ramech is here as the people. Hence, the relative adjective is a masculine plural and the subject is not expressed. So when you don't express the subject, it has to be grammatically written for you. It's not grammatically there, it can change the sentence, it can change our rules. In this case, you can see it right there. You can see it right there. And they put Ramech. They could have changed this to Kemet and had the people, which we'll show that in a minute too, and we'd have been okay. But they didn't. They put Ramech first, and then they put Kemet, and then they go on. Netiyu, M, Henef, the Ramech who are there with him. So you can see it as a relative clause in that sentence right there, right? Let's go further. Here, where did I see it? Here we have it by itself. Here we have it by itself. It says mak. Generally we say maku, but this is makui, but we say mek. We'll go with the translation. Makui, M, hot, H, long A, T, kemet, determinative at the end. In net. See the newt symbol with the feet walking towards, coming to. In net. Aku, these two. This is the aku, the type of bird that it is. M in Herdui. Herdui. And you see the people at the end representing the children. In her Hordui. You could say whore if you want to in this application, but it's because you have the oo sound right after. Hordui, right? And e is the determinative, but here the people at the end. So it's talking about, I am coming down to Egypt to bring food from there to my children. And as it's bringing food to the children, you see the children are here, determinative as people. And you see kemet separate with its determinative. Okay. Above you have something similar because it's talking about the magistrates. You can see them determined as people. Right? Ial, sit, right? Seru, hor, rigid. Or is right here. This is a determinative talking about these people. So you need that determinative grammatically. So we're not taking a shot at them. I'm telling you what you will see. Even in the English sentence that our brother posted, you see grammatically in the sentence, it'll say the people and it'll say kemet. Or when it said kemet, it had the people, it had the nation after it. So if we're talking about the people in kemet, you're going to see this after it, some type of form. If we're talking about the people of kemet, meaning their people, not the physical nation, we're going to see something similar to this with the people, and you'll see the adjective before it making the a noun. So you'll see the you can either call it burnt bark or the crocodile tail, and you'll see the owl, and you'll see the people. Now, let's go to one more. Let's go to one more. So here we have Hab, H-A-B, Qui, K-W-U-I, Kemet. Kemet. I was sent to Kemet. That's what you see. And you see, like I said, every time you're going to see Kemet behind, unless it's Kemet with the people, which let's go to the dictionary. This way you can just see them. When it goes to the dictionary and we look at the dictionary, then we can see the people called Kemet, and it's talking about the people directly as a collective noun, right? So let's look at a few. Kim, black. Let's go further up. Huh? Here we go. Yeah. Kim, black. This is what Asar Imhotep was talking about with the hair lock. D3, Gardner Code D3. So you have I6, which is here, either the crocodile tail or foot or the burnt bark. You have the owl, which is G17, and you have the D3. Here we have Bitter Lakes, they say, for locality. You see this determinative with the hills at the end? Yes. Km, Kim, where? Bitter Lakes. You'll also see this as Great Black. You'll also denote that those Bitter Lakes over next to the Nile area used to be called the Black Sea. No one's gotten into that yet. We won't, but just so you know. And when you go into the Greek, they still call it similar. But that's a whole nother topic. I'm, like I said, we're just pointing this point out so you're clear on the subject, grammatically, how this needs to appear. Here we got conclusion of a book. Km.t, it looks like, but it's km.t. And that's the end of the book. You don't see any people, no correlation in that fashion. Here you have Kemet, the Black Land, Egypt, a locality. Why? Because we know what Kim, this is Kim right here with the hairlock, right? That's Kim with the hairlock, right? Here's Kim by itself, right? Completion, final account of. You see the book, Y1 at the bottom. Huh? Kim, black. Y1V, vertically. Huh? Kim, completion, profit, duty. Kim, total up, amount to, complete to, put to an end, to pay to. And then we get into more of what we were looking at before. Here, Kim, Kemet, Egyptians, people. So we're talking about people. The people grammatically are different than the riparian nation. So when you see this, you should know that it's denoting people. Just as when we seen this, we note that this was denoting troops, people. Just as when we seen this, it was denoting cattle, the herd. This is not the nation of the riparian country. This is Kemet. This is people. This is by Middle Egyptian grammatical rules. Just so we know the difference. Just so we know the difference. You have to be careful what you take, who you take it from, you have to be careful. You're right. What he said is right. You have to be careful. So as you see, this is Kemet. This is the Egyptians as a collective. For those of you who cannot see it, let's get a little closer. Don't be shy. You see it right here. I6, X1, A1, B1, Z2. Not the nation. But the nation is right below it, isn't it? If y'all don't quit hitting this up, and I done put this thing on silent, it's still coming through. So as you can see, Kemet, collective. It's a collective noun used like this. Egyptians. Kemet, locality, the Black Land, Egypt, which my brother changed it to later, which is good, is right here. That's what it looks like. Locality, the Black Land, Egypt, with both T's at the bottom. Both T's, X1049, that's right here. That's this here. And then X1 again. And then Kemet, a jar, which could really be Kemenu in enunciation. But I'm not going to go there. They just say Kemet, a jar, which would have a color to it. Completion, final, and you can see black all over this thing. I think they were saying something about black. That means nothing right now. But Kemet, completion, final account. Kim, black. Kim, total up, amount to, complete. Put an end to, pay to. Kim. If you read E.A. Wallace's Budge version, anytime it has Kemet, especially in the back of the book, it says things like non-Egyptian, opposite of Egyptian, evil, this, that, the other. And that is where we have a problem with E.A. Wallace Budge. That's one of the problems we have with him. But some of E.A. Wallace Budge's stuff is good. This is a better dictionary for you, because he denotes incorrectness on occasion. He denotes his opinion. as opposed to the actuality of what we found when it comes to the term Kemet and when it comes to the term black. And then the Sudani brother, I know y'all know about Darfur. I know y'all know about Darfur. So the work our brothers are using right now to say Kemet is not black has a few issues in it. Even some of his translations, that particular brother, are incorrect. And even going through, there's a doctor, Alessandro, I can't remember his last name. He's Abrahamic faith, real heavy. He's got a couple issues with what he denotes Kim to mean. Him saying it's not the black land, like Egypt's name is something different. Now, Egypt went by a few different names. Notice those names were generally used in the latter half of its existence when the Ptolemies got there. You know, if you got European brothers coming in, they don't want to call it the black land necessarily. They still call the Tsar Kimware, and they still made him look like a Tsar. You ever seen the Ptolemies depiction of the Tsar? But when it comes to what they called the land, yeah, of course they wanted to use some of its other names. Doesn't mean that the other term that Asar Emetep is bringing forth is incorrect, because they called it that too. It had several names. Tameri, went by several things. But Kemet is definitely one of them. Black land is definitely one of those terms. And for our brother Wujau, just grammatically, when we're talking about what this denotes, this is people. There's a difference between the people and a difference between the land. Here's the land. This is people. This is a collective noun. This is a locality. There's a difference between the two. Nouns and pronouns, yes, but a difference between the two grammatically, just so there's no confusion going forth. And we use the Marinette Patah Stella, our brother who broke it down. Wonderful. I'm sure him and Smash and the rest of that clique did what they do because they get busy. Awesome. But just so we know, when it comes to those particular things, when it comes to those particular things, when it comes to, let me stop that. When it comes to those particular things, there's a difference between the people and a difference between the land. And with that, because I got to go get a haircut, as y'all can see, I'm kind of fruffy and fluffy. I may not even be showing up, and I'm not good. Good. One time for y'all. We'll see y'all soon. The newsletter is almost finished. I'm waiting for a particular Seba to finish his interview, so we can add it, and then I'll see you shortly with tons of videos, tons of information, and things that you should know on ETE Imhotep. Remember who you are and be in the SAR. Make sure your grammar's on point. Make sure you're doing what you do, and learn from our brothers. Our brothers are out here trying to do good work. But like I said, watch some of the things you intake. Just because you're clicked up, or just because, oh, there's a bunch of these guys over here, there's just a few. No, watch who you take, what you take from, and what you ingest and digest in your mental and spiritual diet. Very important. He's right. Be careful. Some things have holes in them. Some things are not quite proven. They're still in hypothetic stages, hypotheses, if you will. And if they get clarified later, then it'll be a good thing. But right now, there's certain things that you need to watch. Make sure you watch them. It's very important. And like I said, we don't want to bash the brothers. Make sure you pick up their books. Need their books. They got some pretty good books. Of course, there's a lot of ways to learn Medu Natural as well. Make sure what you get and what you digest and what you intake is the truth. It needs to be ma'akeru, right? It needs to be sound. And when it's not sound and it's just guesswork, make sure that you note that they say, this is my hypothesis, this is what I'm working on. So far, I haven't seen anything. Because the brothers are doing a great work, like I said, but this particular thing is incorrect. We got to make changes when it's not right. Simple as that. Aquas the Jed, ETM, Hetep, Sani Sinet. I see you all later, man. As soon as I get this new computer, we're gonna get it popping. And there's a lot of things in the works. Trust. And go take the classes, man. We make those for y'all. Go take the classes. Just because we're not verbally saying it on a video doesn't mean you shouldn't take the time to read what we wrote. Read what we write. And Mattel.